Imagine a world where nobody cares about hygiene. Imagine a world that's full of people that just don't care about how they look or how they smell. It will be a world full of body odour. Imagine that. Feminine hygiene is something that every single woman should care about. There shouldn't be one woman on this earth that doesn't care about feminine hygiene or doesn't take care of her feminine hygiene. Whether you've got a man or not, you should be taking care of your feminine hygiene. It is crucial. And if you do have a man and you're not taking care of your feminine hygiene, that is just another discussion for another day. But feminine hygiene is a way to feel good, but also just to smell good and look good. Without feminine hygiene, we'd just be a world full of smelly women without men. But on a real, feminine hygiene should be something that all of us are taking part in every single day of our lives. As women, we have menstrual cycles, we have, we grow hairs underneath our armpits, we grow hair on our private parts, we sweat, we have boobs and stuff like that. So we have to ensure that we are taking regular showers and all that good stuff. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you or sharing with you some feminine hygiene tips, because I know there's a lot of girls growing up, cultures that don't speak about feminine hygiene with their young girls, or even, with their daughters, with their nieces. In some cultures, I know that it's like a taboo to speak about feminine hygiene or to teach a young girl to, wax or stuff like that. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some feminine hygiene tips with everybody that needs them. So if you want to know how to look after your feminine hygiene, watch this video.
Just text, I know it's a toss up, but I hate the fact that we lost touch. The Uber pulling up.
I remember being at school and having discussions. This was like in junior school, actually infant school, junior school, and having discussions with like my peers and finding out that some people like washed once a week, washed twice a week, or just washed in the morning and not at the night, or at the night time but not in the morning. And even during COVID was a time when you got to find out who was taking part in feminine hygiene or hygiene as a whole, both men and women. Some people were like, oh my gosh, now it's COVID, I have to shower every day. What do you mean? Like, that's just standard. Like, you should wash morning and night. When you go to bed, you sweat, and when you've been out all day, you carry germs, and your clothes carry germs. If you sit on buses, if you sit in taxis, you're picking up everybody's germs and stuff. You just don't know what's been on that seat. So you should be showering as soon as you get home. Also, I know that, like I said in the introduction, there are cultures that just don't talk about feminine hygiene with their children. It's a no-go, and then people grow up not knowing how to look after themselves, not knowing what to do. Things that some of us do on a regular basis or just do as a normal part of life, some people don't even know, and they go through life not knowing how to maintain or look after themselves. And feminine hygiene is something that I think that everyone should know about. Washing morning and night is a must. When you wake up in the morning, you've been in bed, whether you're single or you're married or you've got a partner, you go to bed, you sweat. Obviously you're going to get up and go to work. You want to ensure that you smell fresh. It's the beginning of the day, new day, new start. So the first thing you should do is go in the shower, have a shower. And like I said, once you get back from work, the first thing you should do, especially as women, is have a shower. If you've got a partner and you're going to go to bed with, or you're going to go and have sex with, you want to ensure that everything is smelling fresh. Everything should be smelling fresh. And sometimes you can't even smell yourself, but other people can. Sometimes your armpits. I've been in situations where people don't wash their armpits and it's early in the morning, and I'm just like, how the hell can you not smell that? But people get used to their own smell. So make sure that you are showering day and night. That's tip number one. Also, one more thing I just forgot. If you are going to bed with your man at night, and you haven't had a shower, it's not just about your armpits, it's not just about your private parts, It's about just things like your feet. If your man is going to be putting you in certain sexual positions and he looks at your foot bottom and it's dirty, that's a turn off. Like, you're going to think, what kind of dirty girl is this? No, I'm only joking. We just don't know. Like, hygiene for some people is like, some people really take it seriously, some people don't take it as seriously, but things like that, the bottom of your feet, you know, could be dirty. You might not feel dirty and you know, you might not smell it, but just things like that. You could be walking on the floor or dust can catch in your shoes and you've got dirty feet. So ensure that you are having a shower at night, especially if you've got a partner. Tip number 2, make sure you are pruning down there. When I say pruning down there, like, I know that everybody likes to wax their vagina, you know, and you don't have to, but just making sure it looks neat and tidy at least should be something that all of us do. I'm a person, I like clean off, I wax everything off. I don't shave it, I'll go to a salon and get them to wax it all off, because I feel that when we have periods and stuff, if you've got too much hair down there and just getting mixed up, and I know that we obviously wash, but I just prefer just have nothing there. I just prefer to have nothing there. I think it's more hygienic for me, and it just, I think there's less smell and stuff like down there, because obviously wherever there's hair it sweats. So if you've got a lot of hair down there, you might, you know, tend to sweat a bit more down there. And then obviously, like I said, you have your menstrual cycle, and then there's discharge and all that sort of stuff. So I'd say wax. Some people like to shave. I prefer to wax because when the hairs grow back, they're not as prickly. I find that when you shave your private parts, that when it grows back, the hair, if you've shaved, then the hair grows back blunt, and then as it's growing back, it will begin to get itchy, and then you'll start getting like spots and stuff like that. You don't want to have spots down in your lady garden. You want your lady garden to look pretty and nice all the time. You just don't know who's going to be taking a trip down there. So shave or wax. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood, it could just be like a Brazilian. Some people prefer Brazilians, I prefer Hollywood. But if you're a Brazilian girl, then go for it, but make sure you just keep down there pruned and looking neat. Eat well and drink well. Like, people don't realise that whatever you eat or drink has an effect on your body, has an effect on your bodily fluids. Have you ever been around somebody who eats loads of garlic and then it's like garlic comes out of their pores? So you can smell the garlic coming out of their pores when they sweat and stuff. It's the same with bodily fluids. Like, they say if a woman drinks pineapple juice or, you know, eats pineapple, then down there will taste and smell nice. So it's the same thing with everything. If you want to make sure you've got a nice natural body odour, because we do all have our own natural body odour, and that comes down to what we eat. Whatever we eat comes out of our pores. So if you're drinking loads of alcohol, drinking loads of coffee, then I'm sure down there it's not going to smell that good. Obviously people have discharge, all that stuff, and when people get sexual, you have other excretions and stuff like that. You want to make sure that everything's smelling sweet, because like I said, our food and drink has an effect on our internal and our external. If you eat bad foods and drink loads of sweet drinks, you might get spots. The same thing on the inside. If you've got a man and you like to take part in certain activities, you want to ensure that everything down there is smelling sweet. So make sure you're eating your fruits, your vegetables, drinking juice, eating loads of pineapple, you know, drinking loads of water, because you are what you eat and drink. That's a fact. So make sure you are eating well to ensure that you smell well as well. Not just smell well, but everything that comes from the inside out, it also smells good. Because seriously people, we don't realise that foods and stuff do have an effect. Alright then, for example, if you eat asparagus, it makes your wee smell. It's just something that happens naturally. I don't know how or what it is, but they call it acid wee. So, like I said, eat well and drink well. I know we all want to smell good, especially in our private areas, because no one wants to smell down there. Well, I don't anyway. However, using soap for me is not a good thing. Our body has a natural pH balance, and when you're using soap down there, it can knock the pH balance off, and it can cause things like BV, which is bacterial vaginosis, and thrush. Recently I went to, well, a couple of months ago now, I went to have a vaginal steam. And basically someone puts herbs into a bowl with hot water, and then you sit over it with nothing on, no kind of clothing below, and then the steam is meant to go up into, you know, into your cervix and so all this stuff, into your uterus. It's meant to do good for, you know, your internals, your lady organs. However, for me, it gave me BV. The herbs knocked my pH off balance, and for a lot of women it's a good thing, but for me it just didn't work. And it's the same for using soap and stuff. I can't use soap or anything, it's just plain water for me. And you don't really need to use soap. Like, if you just wash your private area with water, that is more than enough. Your body, it just, you know, the fluids and everything, it's because it's natural and it has its own natural scent. You don't actually have to put anything down there, but if you do, just be careful, because there's a possibility it could knock your pH balance off, and then it will cause all sorts of issues, like I said, BV and thrush. So don't use sweet fragrances, just use water, plain water. That is fine, that is absolutely fine. Don't always wear panties, go commando sometimes. And I don't mean go walking around and stuff, even though some girls do. Some girls say they prefer to go out commando, but I know that there's women who have discharge, like there's a natural discharge that our bodies have every now and again during the month. If you know your body and you like to go out commando, then you'll know the days that you can and you can't go out commando. However, if you're just in your house, in the comfort of your own home, just try not to wear knickers all the time. Don't wear panties all the time, because obviously our cotton knickers and stuff have like little molecules that do go up into us, and obviously our bodies will naturally excrete them out, but sometimes you just have to let it breathe. Let it breathe. It doesn't always need to be closed off. You know, when you've got knickers on, it's all warm there, and even that can cause thrush. If you have too much layers of, you know, knickers and you've got on jeans, that warm environment can cause yeast infections, which nobody wants. No one wants a yeast infection. So if you're in the house, go commando. If you're at home on your own, go commando. If you're at home with your man, go commando. I'm sure your man will not mind you sitting next to him with no panties on. It makes it easier for him to access, if you know what I mean. But even when you're going to bed, you don't have to wear knickers. When I go to bed, I don't wear anything. And if my partner's next to me, he's loving life. He is loving life, kind of thing. But yeah, you don't have to wear knickers. Just let it breathe. Just give it air. Obviously, like I said, if it's a time of the month, or it's a time of the month where you know you're going to have discharge, which could be like when you're ovulating, then, you know, it's good to wear knickers. But if you're at home, in the comfort of your own home, just go commando. It's the best thing. It's the best thing, I'm telling you. And the next tip is wear non-chlorine tampons and sanitary towels. There's been so many studies done recently in regards to sanitary towels, tampons causing cancer and stuff like that. Chlorine is something that the body does not need to be having, especially the uterus. Anything we put down there, like I says, anything we put on, like knickers or anything, it's any kind of chemicals will naturally go up into us. So imagine if you're putting tampons with chlorine in it and sanitary towels with chlorine in it, and you've got it on all day. All them chemicals are going up into your system, up into your uterus, up into your cervix, and a lot of these things are causing issues in women. Because it's been done for such a long time, no one takes much notice of what the damage it's doing to our bodies. But a lot of tests and studies have been done showing that a lot of the sanitary towels with chlorine and that are doing harm, but there are chlorine-free tampons and sanitary towels, which is what I buy now. For all those who do menstruate, try and use chlorine-free tampons, or even use the vaginal cup. It's like a plastic cup, and you insert it into your vagina, and it just basically gathers all the blood, and you take it out and you throw it away. No, you don't throw it away. It's recyclable, which is good for the environment, and it's got no chemicals. So it just goes into your blood comes out into it, and then you take it out, you throw away the blood, and you're good to go. And I've heard that women say that when they use the vaginal cup, I think that's what it's called. I've heard women say who use the vaginal cup say that their periods have become lighter, they don't get blood clots anymore, and that just shows that whatever's in these tampons and stuff is causing damage. I know that a lot of people would beg to differ, but it's the truth. Be careful of what we put in our bodies. People leave tampons in for like 7-6 hours a day, and as well as sanitary towels. You know, when you bleed into the sanitary towel, it lets off all these gels and stuff, and even though these gels are meant to keep us, you know, fresh for the day, it's still got chemicals in it which are going into our system. So use chlorine-free sanitary towels and tampons, and if you can, use a vaginal cup. No, sorry, they're called menstrual cups, not vaginal cups. Use menstrual cups. That's what I meant, not vaginal cups. They're called menstrual cups. Always smell nice. If you've got a man and you want him to be loving all up on you, wear some nice fragrances. I myself, I use perfume and stuff, but I also use nice body lotion. I use body lotions that are made from shea butter and mango butter and stuff like that, because I try and keep everything natural. Anything that I put on my skin, I try and make it natural, because whatever we put on our skin goes into our bodies, because our skin is a massive organ, but anything we put on it will go into our bloodstreams and into our bodies. So we've got to make sure that it's good. So I only use like shea butter, mango butter on my skin, but there are some great shea butters and mango butter mixtures, lotions on the market that smell amazing, smell absolutely amazing. And just make sure that you're, you know, after you have a shower, you're lotioning up, moisturising yourself, moisturising between your legs and stuff like that, just so you know, when you're getting down, you can smell all the good stuff, because men like smells. Who doesn't like a nice smell? When my hubby puts aftershave on his neck, I love the way it smells. I just want to eat him. So, you know, smells, nice smells are good if you're trying to set the mood and set the tone. Make sure you're putting on some nice moisturisers, you know, during the daytime and before you go to bed. Use deodorant. There is nothing worse than smelly armpits, especially in hot weather. Seriously, I have smelled some armpits in my day, and it's not nice. It is not nice. It's not a nice odour kind of thing. And especially if you've got a man and you're trying to get close to him. Imagine if your man comes up to you and you've got smelly armpits. That can be off-putting. That can be off-putting, especially for men, because men see women as this nice little flower who smells good, looks good, you know. But if they're smelling bad armpit smells, it can be off-putting. A lot of people are now opting for aluminium-free deodorant, because aluminium is not meant to be good to use under your arms, and because you have loads of lymph nodes underneath your arms, you know, it can cause imbalances which lead to massive problems. So a lot of people are opting for aluminium-free deodorants. But if you can't get a hold of aluminium-free, make sure you're using something, because body odour, underarm odour is not the one. So just make sure you are using deodorant. I wouldn't say use it at night, especially if you're not using aluminium-free. Do not use it at night, because I don't think you need it. Just make sure you just wash your arms before you go to bed, when you're in the shower, but don't use deodorant if it's not aluminium free underneath your arms at night time. It's a no-no. But make sure you are smelling fresh and them armpits are clean. Make sure your lips are moisturised. I use, like, if I go out during the daytime, I will put on lip gloss or lipstick. But if I'm in the house during the day or I'm just going to the gym, I put on lip balm, just to make sure that my lips are, you know, smooth. And lip balm just helps to get rid of any kind of chapped lips and stuff and dead skin off your lips. You want to make sure that if you've got a man and you've got dry lips and he reaches over for a kiss with your dry lips, that ain't a good look. It's not a good look. You don't want to be having crusty lips when you've got a man. You want to make sure that you are kissable at all times. So make sure you're just using, just like any sort of, I use one called Carmex, but just use any type of, you know, even if it's Vaseline, just make sure that your lips are moisturised all the time. You don't want dry lips. If you've got a man, like I said, you want to make sure that if he reaches in for a kiss, he's kissing some nice soft lips. So make sure you use lip balm. Bad breath can be a deal sealer. It can be the path to no return. Having bad breath is not a good thing, and not everybody knows they've got bad breath. That's the thing. You can get bad breath from, say if you've gone for like a long time during the day without eating or drinking, it can cause bad breath. Having cavities can cause bad breath. Not flossing can cause bad breath. And obviously not brushing your teeth can cause bad breath. Make sure you are brushing your teeth all the time. I remember when I was younger, and up to this day, my mum is a thing. She'll be like, make sure you brush your teeth, make sure you brush your tongue, make sure you brush your tongue. A lot of smell lies on your tongue. Obviously you're eating, so especially if you smoke, you're smoking, then you eat, then you smoke something else, then you eat again, then you eat something with onion, then you eat something with garlic, and then you're eating this and you're eating that, and it's just building up on your tongue all day, just food building up on your tongue. And brushing the tongue is vital. A lot of mouth odour is caused by not brushing the tongue. Then obviously brushing the teeth. Ensure you don't have cavities. Not everyone knows about cavities, but cavities could be another thing that makes people have bad breath. Not flossing, eating and having bits of food in between your teeth stuck and then it's rotting, especially if you eat meat. I don't eat meat, but I know that when I did, sometimes you have meat in your teeth and you take it out and you smell it. It stinks because obviously the saliva in your mouth and all that is causing like a process that is trying to break down the food and stuff like that, and it's just not a good look. So make sure that you floss, you brush your teeth in the morning and before you go to bed, and you are brushing that tongue. There are things such as tongue scrapers on the market. I don't have one, but I've seen them. You get tongue scrapers that scrapes off any residue off your tongue. I just brush. So when I'm brushing my teeth, I brush my tongue as well, and then I floss as well. So brush your tongue, floss and brush your teeth. Make sure you don't have no cavities. Fresh breath is key. If you've got a partner and you're going to be kissing them, you've got to make sure you've got fresh breath. If you're going to be talking close to people, you could be like a dentist, or you could be somebody that does does eyebrows. You could be like a lash technician. You've got to lean down and be in people's faces. Make sure your breath is fresh. Another tip is make sure you have clean ears. I know men who like licking and blowing on ears and stuff like that. Some people it's a turn on. Some people it is a turn on. But imagine someone leaning in to kiss your ears or put their tongue in your ears, whatever it is that they do, and you've got earwax. I remember with my mum when I was younger, she used to let us get Q-tips and clean out in between the the nooks and crannies of your ears, inside your ears, and she'd let us get a flannel and then clean inside the ears and behind the ears. Like dirt, sweat builds up in your ears. You have earwax, just make sure that you're using a cotton bud, and then maybe use a wet rag just to clean out any excess wax that the cotton bud doesn't get. And last but not least, make sure your nose is clean as well. Make sure your nose is clean. Make sure you've got no booger in your nose. During the daytime, bogies can build up in your nose. You don't even realise it, but then you could be laying down with your man and, he could be laying on your chest and he looks up and he sees bogies. We don't always know that they're there, but just ensuring that when you wash your face in the morning, before you go to bed at night, you just get a tissue and just make sure your nose is clean, because we get build up in our nose. Like, there's not a part of our body that we don't get build up. We get it in our nose, we get it in our teeth, we get it in our ears, we get it in the corners of our eyes. Just make sure that you check your nose all the time. Not all the time, because if you haven't got a cold, you don't need to. So just make sure that your nose is clean, because I've seen people with like bogies hanging out and it's just like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I tell them? But as I'm getting older, I'll just tell them. I'll just be like, do something like that. Like, have you ever been standing with somebody and they'll be like, wipe their nose, and you think, have I got something in my nose? Like, make sure your nose is clean. So that is the end of my feminine hygiene tips. I'm sure there's loads more. I'm sure there's ones that I haven't even mentioned, but for me, those tips were just some of the main ones for me. Especially if you've got a man, especially if you're going to be up close and personal with somebody. You want to just make sure that you smell good, you look good, down there's good, your feet are good, your ears are everything, because it all equals to hygiene. So if you've got any tips that I've missed out, or there's any tips that you partake in or that you do on a daily basis, let me know. What are your favourite feminine hygiene tips? But I'm going to say bye for now, and don't forget to love thyself, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and share this video. Mwah.